What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything you need to know about and what's going on here in our country on a daily basis. Also, I will have a trivia question for you guys here in this video where you can win money directly from me. So make sure to watch this video all the way through for that trivia question. If you can guess the answer, you could win money. We got a lot to talk about here today. Congress trying to pass a major bill here this week. We'll talk about some new items that could be in the bill. And also, there's going to be a flurry of activity here this week to try to add items into the bill. Some negotiations going on here with that. We'll talk about that here and a lot of different things here. So let's jump right in. Thank you so much for liking and sharing these videos. And if you're new here, make sure to click the subscribe button and the bell icon down below so you don't miss out on new videos that come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, let's jump right in. Okay, U.S. Congress aims to pack additional measures into government funding bill as they were only able to pass a week-long continuing resolution here last week. And well, now they got to pass a real bill here. And it's going to be a very large one, a very large one. U.S. Congress faces a tricky task this week as lawmakers try to use a $1.7 trillion government funding bill to address U.S. priorities. So that's how much it costs to fund the government for a year right now. Think about that, how much that is. That's a lot of money. It's unbelievable. They're including tweaks to election rules to possibly prevent going forward the vice president from uh, stealing an election, for lack of a better term, so that the one sole person can't change the results of an election based on every single state's certified results going forward, and that the vice president's role would largely be symbolic of just announcing the results, because remember, every single state certifies their own results, and one person shouldn't be able to change that. And you guys can let me know your thoughts here on this. Also, reforms to drug sentencing and a ban on TikTok from government-owned devices. We've been talking about that here over the last few days, as it's owned by a Chinese corporation and ties to the Chinese government, and passes along your personal information to them. Democrats and Republicans alike aim to tuck as many legislative wish lists into the omnibus bill, funding government through the all the way until September 30th, the end of the fiscal year, without derailing the whole package. So remember here that both Democrats and Republicans, as you can see here, are involved in this process, because remember that they need Republican votes in the Senate to pass this bill, or they can't pass it. You need 60 votes in the Senate to pass it. Democrats can pass a bill right now on their own in the House until basically 2 weeks from now, and until the new Congress comes in. Okay, so they're kind of trying to deal make right now, but remember, Mitch McConnell is kind of the head, the key right now, and he will still be the key for 2 more years as well, and has been the key for a while, because you always have needed 60 votes in the Senate. So really not a lot changing there. The only time it has been different were those very few bills called reconciliation, when you were able to pass a bill with 50 or 51 votes. Okay, so you've always needed 60 votes in the Senate for 99.9% of the votes. So Republicans have been pretty much involved in almost every single bill, including this one. So you will need Republican support for this bill, Republicans and Democrats negotiating on everything going into this bill. And that's what they're doing right now. Failure could bring a partial government shutdown beginning Saturday. Really, what they would call, I mean, yeah, I guess you wouldn't call it a full government shutdown, but really a government shutdown. 2 days before Christmas. and possibly leading into a months-long standoff after Republicans take control of the House on January 3rd, breaking President Biden's Democratic grip on both chambers of Congress. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says nobody is going to get everything they want, but the final product will include wins everyone can get behind. The full details of that package were being crafted over the weekend, but it will include a record $858 billion for defense, some $45 billion more than Biden proposed that Congress is actually putting in there anyways. Additional aid for Ukraine, we'll have to see what that comes out to. Remember that any aid for Ukraine does not actually come from Biden, it comes from Congress. So both Republicans and Democrats will have to approve that, and then Biden signs it at the end. So it actually comes from Congress. Republicans and Democrats will have to sign off on that first, just so everybody's on the same page with that. There's a lot of misinformation here on that. We don't know what it's going to be quite yet until they come up with the bill. And funding for agencies ranging from the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Agriculture, and the Environmental Protection Agency. All this is part of a $1.7 trillion bill to fund the government. Now, Mitch McConnell's being a little bit, he's not letting the Democrats increase funding in a lot of areas. Democrats wanted comparable increases in defense and non-defense spending, so they wanted increases in basically non-defense spending, which Republicans objected to, saying that Biden's party had passed several other domestic spending bills during the last 2 years when they had full control of Congress. Mitch McConnell said, quote, Republicans simply were not going to lavish extra liberal spending on non-defense programs into the omnibus bill. An update here on the child tax credits, adult tax credits negotiation. Meanwhile, there were no discernible signs that Democrats were gaining traction on including a renewal of the expired expandable child tax credits. Republicans have balked, largely citing the cost to the government, while pushing for renewal of some business tax breaks. So it's interesting here that Republicans have balked at the cost of that of what it would cost to give money to families and children and low-income adults, but they're not balking at the cost of what it would cost to give money to businesses. I mean, you guys can let me know your thoughts here on that. The irony there. Yeah. Democratic Senator Sherrod Brown signaled his support for a tax code that bolsters U.S. manufacturing, but he wants it coupled with the enhanced child tax credits, saying, quote, what we are here to do in this body, if not to make things just a little bit easier for struggling families. Yeah, and they're saying that corporate tax cut, if it's renewed, depending on how many years it's renewed for, could cost hundreds of billions of dollars. And yet the Republicans are balking at the cost for giving money to children and families, and then if they include the adult tax credit for low-income adults, but they're not balking at the cost of what it would cost to give tax breaks to corporations. So, sometimes, Congress just really, I don't know, ticks me off. I mean, you would think we should be helping people before we help corporations with their billion-dollar tax breaks, right? I mean, I don't know. Please let me know your thoughts here on this in the comments. Also, if you're hoping for a white Christmas, you might be in luck. Yeah, this is because a major snowstorm could deliver white Christmas in much of the U.S. There's actually a couple different snowstorms brewing here over the U.S. Take a look.
Winter Storm Elliott is on the radar, and this is going to be a storm that affects the eastern two-thirds of the country, and we could be looking at significant travel delays with this. Now, the time frame is Wednesday to Friday. So Wednesday, this storm starts to push east into the Midwest. This is where we could be looking at some heavy snow and some significant travel delays. But with all the cold air expected to take over the country, even down through parts of the Tennessee Valley, the Ohio Valley, we could be looking at snow late week and into the weekend before this system pulls up to the north by Christmas. So this is one you're going to have to monitor. We could be looking at measurable snow and in some cases, some very heavy snow through parts of the Midwest. As we go along through the week, we'll get a better handle on this track and also a better handle on forecast snow totals.
Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like the winter seasons have been shifting. I feel like it gets we get winter later and later into the seasons here nowadays. I feel like we barely get snow for Christmas nowadays, and I feel like winter is shifting later and later into the year. I feel like we used to get snow for Halloween, back when we were kids, or back at least when I was a kid. Um, and now you barely get that. I mean, maybe occasionally, Buffalo had that 6 foot of snow this year, but I feel like you don't get that very often. You don't get that very often. And you think about here, we haven't got that much snow here in the Northeast this year so far. And it's basically, Christmas. And I also feel like most of the snow and cold happens. I feel like it's happening every year now, where it's being pushed back. I feel like winter on a yearly basis nowadays, the seasons have been pushed back like a month or so, where winter is really being pushed back into like April now. And I feel like May every year is also very, very iffy. Where like May used to be like hot and very, very warm. Now it's like, April showers bring May flowers. Now it's more like May is like May showers. And yeah, you let me know your thoughts here on this. What do you think? Because I just feel like you know, summer goes a month longer, and you think of like October, November. I feel like October is still like summer, still like summer. Even a November still, you think about like November used to be like, because remember we used to get like snow for Halloween, October, November. Now it feels like that's almost still part of summer. Of course, November's not really, summer, but you kind of get my drift where I'm going here. And we really haven't had a bad winter yet this year. I mean, yeah, we've had one or two. It depends on where you live, depends on where you live. But, here where I am in Ohio, we haven't had barely any snow at all. A few flakes, that's it. And I mean, we've kind of been lucky. We haven't really gotten hit by the big storms here. Different places and different states and stuff like that have been hit harder than other areas. Of course, knock on wood here, we're probably going to get slammed. But yeah, I mean, eventually it's going to come, either way. But it's just kind of how it is. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you feel like winter's shifting a little bit? I feel like it's been happening here for several years now. I don't know if this is part of climate change or it's just shifting. If this keeps happening, we may have summer and winter and summer. I don't know if that'll happen, but you guys can let me know your thoughts here in the comments. Also, let's get to our trivia question here. Remember, I'm trying to do a trivia question here every day where we're giving away money here to some of our viewers here. If you can guess the answer to a trivia question, you could win money directly from me. If you guess the answer correctly, you'll be entered into the pool of people who have guessed correctly. And from there, we have a random comment picker that randomly picks a few people to be the winner. And if you're the winner, you'll win $50 for each winner that's picked. And you'll know you're the winner because I will contact you via the comment section. I will heart your comments. Only the owner of the YouTube channel can heart your comment, and I will tell you you're the winner. Make sure it's from me and not a scammer. You'll know it's just from It's Jimmy with the check mark. Okay. And if I will never ask you to call or text any phone number. Okay. If you see anything like that, you'll know that it's a scammer. So please be aware of that. Okay. Today's trivia question is, in the movie Home Alone 2, which president stayed on the same floor as Kevin? In the movie Home Alone 2, which president stayed on the same floor as Kevin? So if you want to take a guess at that, comment down below in the comments section and take a guess. And that's all you got to do. It's completely free to enter. And we'll have another question here for you tomorrow and pretty much every single day going forward until Christmas. Let me know what you guys are doing for Christmas, if you're doing anything special, or if you celebrate Hanukkah or any of the other holidays. And of course, yeah, let me know what you think about our Christmas decorations. We're also going to have some New Year's Eve decorations as well. Yeah, my wife does a beautiful job decorating here. Yeah, so let me know your thoughts here in the comments. Make sure to click the subscribe button down below if you haven't yet so you don't miss out on our new videos. It's completely free to do so. Click the bell icon after you subscribe. And also, thanks so much for liking and sharing these videos. Remember, new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every single day. So you can just count on that like clockwork. So yeah, so you can click here to watch my newest video next. And you can click here to see my newest video on Social Security letter going out here. Definitely need to watch that if you haven't yet. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.